guys, welcome back to Football Match Daily for episode 5. Today we've got Raghav with us from N Raghav TV. He's a Barcelona supporter, as you can see from his jersey and his evident background. He also supports Arsenal um, to stay relevant in the Premier League. Uh, Today we will be talking about the final match day of all the leagues in Europe, and the fixtures that come along with them. The first league we talk about would be the Serie A because it has been won by Inter Milan already. But the talking point comes that Juventus face a real possibility of not qualifying for the Champions League. What are your thoughts about that? Raghav, first you.
So Juventus, I think it's been all a season. It's been a season where literally they've relied upon individual performances to carry the team. Even people keep criticizing that they do not they don't have a midfield, but still Ronaldo has scored so many goals. Respect for that, and even players like Chiesa have stepped up. So I feel that Pirlo has had a tough first season, and it's a real doubt whether they'll qualify for Champions League.
Do you think Pirlo should stay, Raghav?
I I think they should give Pirlo a lower team. He should manage like a youth team first, and then they should bring him back into the Juventus setup. For now, I think if Juventus want to rebuild immediately and like in the next 1 or 2 years, I think they should bring back a different manager, maybe a
I
Max
think
Allegri.
I think initially wasn't Pirlo allotted the under 23s for Juventus before he was announced the main team. I think it was something like that.
Yeah, before sacking Sari, he was a part of. He was still doing his coaching badges back then, and they sacked Sari after they won the title that season. Then they immediately announced Pirlo.
If we take a look at the Serie A fixtures for the final day, we would realize that Juventus no longer have the qualification upon their hands. It's Napoli and Milan's fixtures and results that would show them their fate, you would say. And Milan play Atalanta. Atalanta lost to Juventus in the Coppa Italia, I believe, midweek.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Napoli have Verona, which Verona are considerably easy opponents, but Atlanta versus Milan, that's the game to watch out for in the Serie A, isn't it?
Yeah.
Siddhant, do you think Juventus can make it to the Champions League?
I think, yeah, if obviously Juventus have to first win their own game, but we've seen this season Milan have been a little inconsistent. So there's a chance that there's a majority chance that they might drop points against Atalanta, and if Juventus win, then they might be able to take their spot.
I think
Are
even if
you
Juventus draw and Milan lose points, Juventus make it. So I can see Milan dropping points against Atalanta and Juventus getting in the top four.
Even Napoli can drop points, even they're not very consistent that way.
but Napoli play an easier side.
Napoli
Yeah, but
play
it's not.
an easier side, and I think in the last few games they're coming back.
Yeah, we've seen Dries Mertens quite active on social media.
If you see,
Uh,
they haven't lost any of their five last fixtures. Last of their five fixtures.
Neither have Atlanta to be see.
Yeah, but Atlanta is going to make it anyways. I'm talking about Napoli versus Verona.
That's true. So that I was going to point out that Milan have a tough fixture on their hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on, we've got the La Liga, which we will be treated to a final match day title race between the two Madrid sides. Uh, right now, Atletico Madrid do look like the favorites to win the league, but as we know, Real Madrid aren't a side that you can basically sleep upon.
Yeah,
So
but Real Madrid's fate is in Atletico's hands. So if they win it, or even if they draw, they'll probably win the league. So
yeah,
it's not. Yeah,
Atletico need to get 1 point and hope that Real don't score more than four against Villarreal, which
yeah,
aren't
exactly.
very easy opponents.
Yeah,
But Even Real Madrid have been unbeaten in their previous fixtures. So Raghav,
Yep.
I'm sure you wouldn't like either of those teams to see winning the league, but who do you think is going to win?
Personally, I don't want Real Madrid anywhere near the trophy. There are more like a more direct rivals, if you can say, to considering Atletico. I feel that no team deserved to win La Liga this season because everybody has been dreadful. It's basically like even Atletico initially they started off very well. They had like a 14, 15 point lead. Then they started bottling. Then Barca initially started catching up, and then we bottled it again. And even Real Madrid dropped points. So basically, it was like it wasn't you can say it was a competitive season, but not in a sense, if you get what I'm saying. Like,
I think what Raghav is saying was a competitive season, but not in a good sense. Like
yeah,
everyone was losing. It's not like everyone was
Yeah, I
winning.
think the overall quality of the league dropped a bit.
Let's let's go in order. Raghav, Sid, and then Ayush. Who do you think is going to win the league?
I
Raghav
think
at Atletico.
I think Atletico will win because Madrid face Villarreal. Villarreal are in the Europa League final, so I think it's a really tough fixture. So I think Atletico will win the title.
Yeah, I think obviously Atletico have the better chance here. They just have to go out and win, and that's it. Title is done.
Yeah, I don't really see a race unless Atletico really make a very big blunder or something. So I think yeah, Atletico are gonna win it.
Atletico can win it even with a draw. I mean, that's when Real
Yeah,
Madrid will have to score 4, 5 goals against Villarreal, which doesn't seem possible.
Yeah, I
So
think it might not be possible, but it would definitely be interesting.
yeah,
the only way
Yeah,
I
but
see Atletico bottling it is if they lose.
no, but
yeah.
in La Liga, it's not about the goal difference. It's about the head-to-head record. So if like I don't remember exactly what the results of Atletico and Real. I think Atletico won both the games. So even if they are on the same points, then the team which has a superior head-to-head record will win. That's the case even for Syria.
Oh,
No, I think Real Madrid won both the games.
I'm not aware, to be honest.
Even I'm not sure if so whoever has even if they come on to the same points. So if Atletico draw and
Real.
Real Madrid win, so whoever is ahead on head-to-head record will win the title.
what if each of them won one of them? Like there were
Goal.
two
I think
cases.
then it goes to goal difference.
Okay,
Yeah, if it is 1-1, then it is goal difference.
okay.
Okay. That's a little education for our viewers and a few of us too. Ayush. Moving on, we've got the Premier League. That is, I think most fans are going to be watching this one because at this point there's a lot to play for. Apart from the two Manchester clubs, I think all eyes would be on Chelsea, Liverpool, and Leicester's games. And while we all want to see West Ham in the Europa League, uh, Tottenham and Everton still have a very good chance of making it there. And Arsenal can still realistically finish above Spurs. Leeds United can by miracle, if they beat West Brom 15-0, make it to the Conference League. So a lot to play for, I would say. Um
Yeah, and Bielsa
Liverpool,
can't do that, I guess.
Bielsa can do that, and it's West Brom who are
Yeah,
already
but it's
relegated.
again Big Sam, so it's
Big Sam. West Brom's last game came against Liverpool. I would like to point out where the big Brazilian man in the goalpost scored for us in the 95th minute, and
yeah,
so basically I'm trying to point out that West Brom are the easiest side to score 15 against in a game. Uh,
yeah, yeah. Okay.
less Leicester plays Spurs in a deciding game for Europe in general, who makes the Europa League. Liverpool play Crystal Palace. Liverpool made it into the top four after beating West Brom midweek, and after Leicester dropped points to Chelsea midweek. And Chelsea play Aston Villa, who is a tricky side to play against with Grealish back.
Yeah,
So The race for the race for the Champions League is a good one. The Europa League is also a good one with West Ham playing Southampton, Spurs playing Leicester, and Arsenal playing Brighton, and obviously Everton playing the table leaders Man City. Conference League, I would say Arsenal and Spurs. I mean, obviously the remaining teams, that is sixth and below. So, Raghav, question to you.
Yeah.
Can ask first of all, who do you think is going to make it to the Champions League? And second, Europa League, who's going to come fifth and sixth, and who's going to make the Conference League?
So Champions League, the first two positions are already decided. It's City and United. And I think somehow, I feel bad to say this, but I think somehow Leicester will drop out of the top four. I think Chelsea and Liverpool are going to take it, because Leicester, the game is reaching the top four is not in their hands now. Obviously, they have Tottenham to beat, but I think Chelsea, with that advantage of a point, if they win the game, I think Chelsea and Liverpool are going to the Champions League.
Europa
So fifth
League.
and sixth fifth and sixth, I think Leicester, West Ham, and seventh, I think it'll be Everton. Everton will make it to the Conference League.
Everton play Man City.
Everton play Manchester City. I don't really see that happening, to be
Ha,
honest.
I don't think Pep is going to play his actual team. He's still messing around with his team, playing random formations, and not playing his strongest team, I would say.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
and they
think
did just lose to Brighton.
And
they could.
that I was meaning to ask. You play Brighton next. How do you feel facing Brighton the game after they beat the league leaders Manchester City?
See, Arsenal is basically no pressure FC. When it's the most clutch moment, when you have to win the game, they will bottle it for sure. Whether be it the manager with his team selection, or players turning up on the pitch, or somebody making a huge mistake. So if you see, after that Villarreal defeat, Arsenal are undefeated. They've won all their games.
Wasn't
Gabriel
the wasn't the Villarreal game like 3 games ago? I mean, it's not that big of a gap, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's
so
still
see,
big for
basically
Arsenal.
after that was your game of the season. If you won that, you move into a Europa League final, and if somehow if you beat Man United, then you could have been in the Champions League, and it would have changed everything. Somehow.
Yeah, but they didn't deserve to be there, so I
Yeah,
think it's good
exactly.
that they didn't
They
be.
weren't deserving, and Villarreal also, they weren't the best team, I would say. There, even they performed, they didn't perform to their level, but yeah, Villarreal deserved the win, and they went through. And yeah, Arsenal Brighton game, no pressure again. So I think they'll easily get the win. I think it'll be a 2-1 win maybe for Arsenal.
I think the only disadvantage Everton have is that they have a poor goal difference.
Yeah.
Arsenal and Spurs comparatively better.
And their
Um,
fixture.
and their fixture, yeah, and their fixture. That's true.
Yeah,
And
but Spurs play Leicester, so
Yeah, true.
I
but
think
Spurs and it's a must win for both of those teams. But
yeah.
Everton, City don't really need a win, and they can still scrape through, is what I
Mm,
believe.
mm.
Yeah,
But
right.
Everton haven't been the best team the last few games. Pretty inconsistent.
Mm.
And I would like to throw the question open to Sid. Champions League, Europa League, Conference League. Who's making the spots?
I think, yeah, the table is going to be the same as it is now, because I don't see Leicester winning against Spurs, even though Spurs are in a bad patch. But yeah, and Liverpool will obviously most likely win their game, and hopefully West Ham wins their game as well. So I think the table is going to remain the same.
And so you're saying Chelsea, Liverpool make Champions League, Leicester once again drop out on Champions League football, West Ham making Europa League qualifiers, and Spurs qualifying for the Conference League.
Yes, I think so. That is how it go.
So you don't believe Arsenal can overtake Spurs?
No, I don't really think so. I think because I feel that Spurs might win their the game against Leicester.
You have any hopes for Leeds scoring 15 against West Brom?
Yeah, definitely.
Good to know your optimism's the right way.
Yeah,
Ayush,
it's nothing wrong with hoping.
Sure.
I mean, yeah, I mean, deep down, all of us want less Leeds to compete in Europe.
Yeah.
But Ayush,
Okay, so what I think is that Liverpool is actually going to finish above Chelsea, and I see Chelsea dropping points against Aston Villa, but still staying above Leicester somehow. I feel that it's going to be Liverpool, Chelsea, and Leicester. So Liverpool and Chelsea make the Champions League. Leicester and West Ham make the Europa, and Arsenal, in my opinion, will make the Conference League spot.
I mean, logically speaking, even for me, I think this would be the table that remains the same. But I have a gut feeling that Chelsea drops out of the Champions League spot because
Yeah,
you had this big midweek issue with Tammy Abraham speaking up against Thomas Tuchel, I believe. And I think Thomas Tuchel then plays Tammy Abraham against Aston Villa, where he was loaned out
see,
for,
yeah.
and then him feeling sympathy and letting Aston Villa win somehow.
No, but
And
the problem there is that Tammy Abraham said that after the FA Cup game. So if he really wanted to play, he would have played him against Leicester or something. I don't see Tammy Abraham coming on for Aston Villa because it's too important of a game to take such a big risk. Even though Werner does not score, he keeps the game going for us.
but I just have this gut feeling that Chelsea drop out. So Liverpool, Leicester for me, then Chelsea, then West Ham, then Spurs. I wouldn't say Spurs because then they would lose to Leicester, but Arsenal then.
Yeah, same Arsenal. It's mine.
I'd
Um,
rather have no Europe than play in Conference League, to be
See,
honest.
I mean, I think because people are looking at the Conference League to be even worse in the I mean, considering their status than the Europa League,
Yeah,
is the only reason people don't want the big clubs to play in Conference League. But then I believe that is where you truly challenge yourselves, right? Because
yeah,
uh, even taking this season's case, if Arsenal hadn't lost to Villarreal, we
hmm.
wouldn't have we wouldn't have realized how much of a poor state Arsenal is in right now.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, I think playing against other clubs from Europe, regardless of which competition you play in, shows where you stand among them. And
Yeah.
that is what I was going to tell others when Liverpool were going to play the Conference League.
And
Okay.
one
Uh,
positive, if you had to take out of it, was that you could play your youngsters like they did in the Europa League group stages. They could play them in the entire tournament if they want to prioritize the Premier League.
Yeah.
um, Moving on, we can move on from the fixtures midweek and talk about maybe things that are all happening off the pitch, as our title suggests. The first thing coming this week was Karim Benzema was called back to the French squad for the Euros,
Yeah.
and it was a long time coming, in my opinion, and he deserves it, to be honest.
It does deserve it, but I would love to see the scenes now. The whole Giroud and Benzema thing, which happened, I think, a year back. That would be really good now.
The F1 versus go-kart
The F1 versus
banter.
that. Yeah.
Sid, where do you stand on Karim Benzema's call-up?
I think yeah, he's been fantastic for Real Madrid since Ronaldo left the club. And yeah, he obviously deserves it, but I think it came a little out of the blue because all these years he hasn't been in the competition and now suddenly he's back. So yeah, I was a bit surprised by it, but fair enough.
Raghav, he comes from your direct rivals.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, although he's from the rivals, I admire him a lot as a player. He like if you had to name one complete striker, then it would be Benzema, because I think France, they won the 2018 World Cup with Giroud up top. Then just imagine what the team would be with Benzema, Mbappe, and Griezmann linking up. So I think France have just made a strong squad even stronger.
But I was slightly surprised with the centre back call-ups because
Yeah.
I think Longley was called up along with Varane, who I don't think have been their best this season. I think the only deserving call-up was Kimpembe, and I and I think even Theo Hernandez was dropped,
Yeah.
who is slightly I mean he can play centre back is what I'm trying to say. I mean if Lucas Hernandez was to be picked too,
Hmm.
uh,
I think it's the
but
opposite way. Lucas
Yeah,
can
I
play
think Lucas
center
plays
back,
center back and Theo plays.
Theo plays
Yeah.
left back. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
but my point is that if these were the centre backs that were to be called, wasn't Laporte's changing of nationality is quite unnecessary because he could have easily fit into that defensive line.
Yeah, I think, but it's not Laporte's fault. It's really France's fault that they're not calling Laporte. Even I think last time also they could have called him, but they
I
didn't.
think
So yeah,
even in the World Cup they didn't call him, and okay, like the World Cup was at least fine because he had only spent 6 months in City at that time. But ever since then, all the friendlies that they had, he hadn't been called up ever in any of those games as well. So I think he finally decided that he couldn't risk missing the Euro, so that's why I think he changed his nationality.
I would
and
like to
and
point out that Laporte has made zero appearance for the French national team,
yeah,
Yeah,
and for
exactly.
a
That's the
centre
point.
back of his caliber, does not deserve that.
Yeah,
yeah. And who would miss the opportunity to play alongside Sergio Ramos?
That's
I
true.
think because if Laporte is switched to Spain, he straight away goes into the starting lineup now. Because we have Pau Torres as a left center back, but if you compare Torres to Laporte, I think Laporte straight away goes into the starting lineup.
I think when we were making our predicted Euro squads for our Instagram page, our
Hmm.
writers had a friendly discussion about who should actually make the centre back along with Ramos, and we could not come up with an appropriate pairing. And I'm glad that all of us would have the same centre back pairing now.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
Yeah, I
so
believe the king of controversy had a very, very unique choice even in that, I think.
No, no. I think it was. I don't remember, to be honest. Okay,
I
so
think
yeah.
he took PK while all of us stuck to Pau Torres.
No, no. I definitely
Yes.
didn't took. I definitely didn't take PK.
I,
Okay.
did you take Eric Garcia?
No,
But
I couldn't when you were in the group. I couldn't do it, even if I wanted to. You have killed me or something.
another bit of news coming in this week is that Wolves manager Nuno Espirito Santos is finally going to resign with mutual consent with the club after guiding them to the Premier League and keeping them there for I think 3 seasons, 3 consecutive seasons, and I think he's going to be missed.
Yeah, I think Wolves will. There will be a bigger hole than Messi leaving Barcelona now, because he did some amazing work. Even though he's usually trolled for bringing in Portuguese players in his squad, but it's okay. He kept them in the Premier League for long. They were not really Premier League, the team which stays in the Premier League, but he made Wolves that team.
So especially for modern day fans like us who didn't see Wolves like back in the day, like in the history, for us like we know Wolves as Nuno's team and how Raul Jimenez and his players and how the like even at least till last season they even the style of play was beautiful to watch. They have dipped a bit this season, but I think it'll be a huge miss for Wolves.
Sid, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think both Ayush and Raghav covered my thoughts. And really, yeah, obviously he's a very good manager. I think they've lacked certain players this season, like Raul Jimenez. And yeah, I don't think he deserved to be sacked. He's done a very good job with Wolves.
I don't
He's
believe
not
he's
been
been
sacked.
sad. He's resigned with consent.
Mutual consent,
But
yeah.
either way,
Yeah,
think
that's mostly forcing them not to just say sack. That's forcing him to sign the
Yeah,
contract.
but I think Nuno is the one forcing, not Wolves who are forcing him out. I think Nuno is forcing a move out.
either way,
Where?
I think, yeah, I mean, where, that's a good question. But either
Yeah,
way,
that I do not know.
either way, I would say that that puts. I mean, we don't know who the new manager is, but upon early speculation, you would say that Wolves would be among the teams that would said, I don't maybe compete along with the teams that would you would usually see at the bottom of the table. And I don't think I'm ready for that yet because I enjoy how Wolves play and they gave us Diogo Jota. So thankful on two aspects. Um, another news coming in from the Wolves camp is that Raul Jimenez has been given the to play football from next season. For those not aware, he had a ugly clash in a match and he fractured his skull.
Yeah.
We are glad that he can be back on the pitch, but it comes with a bit of sad news. He will have to wear a protective gear for the rest of his career for his skull, as we've seen previously with Petr Cech,
Check. Yeah.
and probably that's not the best news we would want to hear, but him being back on the pitch is good news itself. So a little note about that. Another not news, but maybe thing to look out for in the Premier League was the Hall of Fame inductees. We had Alan Shearer along with
Thierry Henry.
Thierry Henry, who were initially inducted in the Hall of Fame, and this week they were joined by six others that were voted by the fans and the panelists of the Premier League. The list was Cantona was first announced. Eric Cantona, Leeds and Manchester United. Then Roy Keane, Manchester United. Then Lampard was announced. Frank Lampard, Chelsea legend. Then Bergkamp, another Arsenal player. I'm sorry. Then Gerrard was announced. Steven Gerrard, Liverpool, obviously. And
Mhm.
then David Beckham, the England international who played for United, part of the class of '92. So these are the six players that came in along with Thierry Henry and Alan Shearer to join them. What are your thoughts on the inductees?
One correction: Lampard, the Man City legend.
Oh, or the West Ham one, he played for West Ham as well. Yeah, Lampard, the Man City legend. I loved for the Man City legend to come in. Others I'm not so fond about, so I'll just leave it to you guys.
I think,
So yeah,
yeah, I think everyone would agree with these. I think some notable misses who missed out. Like, yeah, they are not these generation players. Much of us won't know. Like Sir Tony Adams, he won the double with Arsenal, and even guys like Vieira. I think they will eventually come into the Hall of Fame, but I think these are some notable misses in the first.
I would say Paul Scholes.
Yeah.
Yeah, a major missing. Even I think Beckham made it and Scholes didn't. That was a bit surprising, but it really wasn't because the fans love Beckham more due to his other things more than his football. So yeah.
Sid, do you agree with the six players that were inducted by the fans?
Yeah, I think I agree with all of them. And if anyone has a problem with Scholes or Beckham, they both play for United, so those fans should have figured it out themselves.
I think I think a few United fans I was having conversation with were arguing that Scholes should have come in rather instead of Gerrard, who hasn't won anything for
Ah,
Liverpool.
Yeah, but they were
But
no, no,
United
no.
fans, so that was
No,
like.
I think Gerrard.
That's a
I
very
think
poor
I
Lamp.
think you
argument.
can't miss Gerrard because
Yeah.
Gerrard comes into that debate whether Gerrard or Lampard, right? And if Lampard comes in, Gerrard comes in for sure. And Beckham comes in majorly because of his fan following rather than
Yeah.
his
His
maybe footballing skills. I
football.
mean, not football. Because Scholes is a better player rather than Beckham. Maybe I would be it would be a very controversial thing to
Yes,
say.
yes. Big
But
statement by Videep.
in my opinion, Scholes should be up there rather than Beckham.
Yeah.
I like Beckham, but he's more of the swaggy of the class of '92 rather
Yeah.
than the best.
See,
Yeah.
Scholes should have been the eighth one, and Beckham could have been the ninth member of the Hall of Fame. Like,
True.
yeah.
Even
Uh,
Giggs could have been a shout, but I think his off the field controversies, I think they wanted to avoid that. So, yeah.
Who?
Giggs,
Giggs.
Ryan Giggs.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay,
Uh,
right. Giggs.
I was going to say John Terry, but then you completely, yeah, fine.
No, I think even John Terry is a good shout.
Yeah,
John
but
Terry is
again,
not
again,
bad.
the controversies of the pitch.
Yeah.
I think another aspect we failed to mention this week is, and we failed to show, was the League One title race that we don't really have the points table for. But I think PSG and Lille go into the last day. Lille have a 1 point lead over PSG, if I'm not wrong. And I am honestly, I cannot wait for PSG to end up losing the Liga, because the supposed Farmers League is no longer a Farmers League, and I'm glad to see that PSG is not winning anything
Yeah,
apart from the Coupe de France, that is.
in the last few games after the Champions League, PSG has been doing everything right. But the problem is that Lille came back as well. So yeah, it's a 1 point lead, and everything depends on Lille actually now.
Yeah, it's good to see that instead that you don't need superstars to win the team. Like Lille this season, they've played more as a unit, and every single player has come up clutch for them. So I feel it's a very deserved title, and I think this will be one of like a Leicester kind story, but although not that.
It would be underrated
Yeah.
by regular neutral fans, but obviously for fans who follow football all season long, it would be a great achievement by Lille
Yeah.
to displace a team like PSG. So, Raghav, any final thoughts before we end it for this week?
I think it was a good conversation having with you guys. Actually, I don't seem, although there are many Premier League fans, there aren't many people who talk about Premier League on as like a podcast or doing regular videos. So it was a fun conversation to have. And thank you for having me on.
Raghav, as much as a part of Football Match Daily as he is also a solo YouTube content creator, and we would link him down in the description. So that's it for this week, guys. We've had Ayush and Sid. Obviously, can't seem to get rid of them. Raghav this week joined us.
Second, I will be taking a leave in the next podcast after those comments.
Don't take me wrong. It's great to have you guys, since you all are such permanent
I mean,
members.
you don't even pay us.
We're a non-profit organization.
Oh, I'm out.
Anyway, that's been it for this week. If you like our videos, be sure to like, share, and obviously subscribe.
Yeah.
This is Videep. What do you mean? What do you mean? Yeah. This is Videep from
Yeah,
Football
the
Match Daily.
video ended us for both of us when you said that. So yeah, just finish it up fast.
I seem to have offended Ayush and Sid on a different level, but this has been Videep from Football Match Daily, and thank you for watching.